Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today I am participating in a collab co-hosted by Susan at Susan Hiles Art and Sheree at Turquoise Streaming and Maria at Maria's Miscellany. And this collab is to create a journal with your flea market finds, but you can also use things you got for free, maybe some junk mail, or maybe a few things you picked up at a really good price at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to try and make this 90% flea market because I have so many things from the flea market, including this pile of lovely, lovely vintage lace and clusters. And I love this dusty rose one, and I love this old color lace. So anyway, so I'm thinking here, flea market shabby chic. And this is going to be part of my cover. And also from the flea market, I just threw that whole pile on the floor. This very large Bristol paper pad. Now when you get a pad of paper, it comes with a really nice cardboard backing on it. And what I'm going to do is cut this. I know it's so big it doesn't fit all the way under the camera here. But I measured out two 8-inch squares. And this is going to be an 8 by 8 inch square journal cover. And then over here, I measured out a 2-inch spine. So it's going to be 8 by 8 with a 2-inch spine. So what I'm going to do first is go off camera, because it's very scary when I use sharp tools, and cut this with a utility knife. And then I'm going to come back and plan out what I want to put on the cover. Well, that went pretty well. There was very little loss of blood, and I still have 10 fingers. I did not do as good a job as Mr. Possum would have done. I used this little utility knife that he gave me and a ruler, and I used this piece of cardboard on the table as a protector. Like I said, sharp instruments and me don't get along. My Native American name is Runs with Scissors. Not that I'm Native American, but my grandma did marry into the tribe, the Blackfoot. So that is my Native American name. Very dangerous. Runs with scissors. So what I'm going to do now is put the spine to the front and back cover with some old mailing envelope or something for support. That looks a little off in this corner. We can hide it somewhere. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And then I'm thinking of adding some cotton batting to cover the cardboard to make it nice and soft to put my lace on. I cut two pieces of mailing envelopes. They're from two different envelopes, but that doesn't matter. Use what you have. It's a junk journal. And I made it a little bit wider. So this is 2 inches. So I wanted it to overlap to the cover. So this is about 3.5. They're not terribly straight, but you're not going to see them. And they're a little short, but that's what I had to work with. It'll be fine because the material will cover that, I think. This just gives it a little extra strength. And you want just a fingernail away so that it can bend. You don't want it too loose. You don't want it too tight. You want it just right. I didn't do a super job here, but it'll probably work out okay. Okay, I'm going to use some of this Dollar Tree glue. And this is the Beacon, same maker as Fabri-Tac, but it is called foam and poster board adhesive. It is almost the same formula, a little bit different because it works really well on foam, but it will work on lots of different things. Just spread around a little bit. And this is all going to get covered up. This is just for some reinforcement on the spine. People use all different things, material, whatever they have. So I'm going to try and get this on here somewhat. Ooh, stuff stinks though. Ah, smell will knock you out. This envelope was ripped in the process, but that's okay. I noticed lately a lot of these mailing envelopes that come in the mail are kind of dirty. Oops, I gotta move you. Sorry. I don't know how they get so dirty in the mail truck, but this stuff you can wipe off with a damp cloth. It doesn't hurt it at all. Okay, now I squish some glue out the edges. So I'm just going to wipe that a little bit because I have to flip it over. This is the kind of glue you can rub off. People do covers different ways. They actually cover the cover and then put it all together. I haven't tried that. Have I tried that yet? I don't think so. I've put the cover together and then covered it instead of covering it and then putting the cover together. So what I'm going to do is make sure, see, we're off here. We don't want to be off that much. This side is a little too far away too. So always turn it over and adjust before it dries. Okay. Because you can't tell from the other side. So now that's looking pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go off camera and just do the same thing to this side. Okay, I like to run my fingernail right where the fold is going to be. Just kind of crease the Tyvek there. I can't find the fold here. I got a kitty who wants to jump up. Here she comes. I had to take my mat off the table for a moment because I got glue all over it. I don't think I'm in the fold there. Just make a neater crease for it to fold. I usually do both sides. Okay. Now the next part is not from the flea market, but it was a bargain. I had a, oh, I don't know, maybe it was a 50% off or something. I don't know, I hauled this at one time, but I got this really nice, lovely cotton batting, which is so soft. And when you put it under material on a journal cover, it comes out so soft. I love it. It's like a little bunny. So I bought, I don't remember how much I bought, but I know I hauled that, so I can go back and look. A couple yards maybe. Maybe a couple yards. I got it at a really good price. Not from the flea market, but I'm going to just put this on the front and back. And do I want to use this glue? Yeah. Sometimes I just put glue stick if I'm going to sew, because I also use that cotton batting when I make journal covers out of the bubble mailers. And then I'm going to sew right through the bubble mailer, but I'm going to sew the cover and then glue it on because this is a heavier cardboard. Maybe I should do one side first, right? I learned this from Linda. Linda's Mixed Up Mess. I always try to glue everything all at once. And that does not work as well. Get the corners. Alright, go up to there. See if I can glue one side. And I got a kitty in my lap. I have to get up, kitty. I have to get up to see. Is that too far over? Too far up? Too far up. It does stretch a little. Okay. I want it to go right to the edge. Alright, let me put more glue on this side. And then I'm going to finish this and flip it over and then do the other side. This is all the structural part. The fun part comes next, designing the cover. And all I know is I want to use a bunch of that vintage material I got. And I might make the base part with that dusty rose and put some of the white lace on top of that. And some of the clusters. Oh, and I have a dragonfly that I got at the flea market too. That might go on the front. So I will just finish this up and do the other side and come back, and I think I'll sew some layers or glue some layers, do sewing and gluing maybe, sewing and gluing, combination thereof. Okay, looks pretty good. A little skinny in that corner. Off a little bit. But, you know, I can trim it around it when it's all done, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, there she is. 8 by 8, 2-inch spine. Tyvek reinforcement for the spine. Covered inside and outside with this lovely soft cotton batting. So I need to just put this aside for all that glue to dry, and I will get out the material now and work on the cover. I think for the base material on the journal, I'm going to use this dusty rose. These are mantle scarves. I don't know if these were made out of like old wedding dresses or something. I don't know. I don't know how vintage they are because it looks like these clusters are put on with glue guns. But the material and the lace I think are probably pretty old. I like this cluster here. Are these different? That one's a little busted. I was thinking of taking the middle one and putting it where? Putting it on the front. Now I never do this. I never have parts that hang over a journal. but I might do that on this one. What would the back look like? Then all this will have to get cut off, and this will have to get folded down. And we can't have that, can we? Because the material is kind of cut like this. So will this fit on that thin part? No, it doesn't. Okay, we got to come up with a new plan for this. Let's see what else we got here. We got the same thing but in white, but they're all cut the same. It's just that this part is kind of narrow there. Oh, you know what? I can sew two of the whiter parts together. This white is very pretty. So I can cut like white for the back. I have to make sure I get a piece that doesn't have any ripped lace on it. Like that. Let's see. See, I never have parts hanging down. Never, 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 never. Until now. Okay, then I can cut that. And then put this one. These are like 6 feet long. Very hard to work with. Can't wait to cut it. And then I can cut this one for the front. That's a broken one. There's one on here that's not broken. Here, this one's a good one. Check the lace. Lace looks okay. Okay, and I can sew these two together. And one will be the front. And one will be the back. They have little sequins sewn on them, and this will go over. And then in the middle, I can put one of these where those two are going to go together. Okay, so I have some chopping to do. Okay, just checking in. I've got my front pink piece, and this is a different piece because the first piece I cut had a lot of black marks up here. And I know that's going to get folded in, but I didn't like it. But this cluster has a button missing, but that's okay. I'll take the button off the other one and put it there. It's just put on with a glue gun anyway. And this will be the back, the white. And I'm going to stitch around here. And then I'm going to put this there. This will get folded down. And these will get folded in. And this will be where the spine is. But because I want all this hanging at the bottom, I have nothing to fold in. So, whoops, this piece will go across the bottom. So this will get folded in at the top. And these will get folded in at the side. Like that. Like that and like that. But now I need something for this edge. So where'd that piece go? Oh, it fell on the floor. Pick it up. Okay. So before I put that on, I will put this on. And I'm just going to make the whole thing pink. I'm not going to do it pink and white. So that'll go there. Like that. And then these sides will get folded in. Like that. And then I'm going to put a piece on the inside to hide these folds, and I'll have to sew around the edge of that. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but this will be the cover. And I may add some more frou-frou on here and my pink dragonfly like that. So I got to do some sewing over at this sewing machine. And what I'm going to do is sew the front and back together and then sew on the doily on the spine. And then think about what kind of lace. I got lots of trim, or I can use some of this vintage stuff here because I want this to be very frou-frou. I can put some vintage things. I want this to be like real, just floppy and lots of material and very frou-frou. Very frou-frou. I could probably cut this here where these roses are. Stitch that on there. Have this hanging off the edge. I want it very floppy, very floppy. Okay, got some stitching to do. Okay, this is what we have so far. I thought I'd check in with you since it's actually been overnight since I started this, but last night I took the machine and I zigzag stitched all around the doily, and I zigzag stitched this lace on the front, and then I zigzag stitched this lace on the back. And when I went to lay it out on the book, I noticed that it was so crooked that, I mean, you know, possum straight is fine with me, but this was so crooked that this part would have bent over the top, and it was just too difficult to fold. So it took me a couple of hours to rip out this decorative stitching off of this lacy material. So then I went to bed. So then when I got up this morning, before everybody was awake, before breakfast, what's under there? Stuff. I glued on these clusters. That was the first thing I did. I got out my trusty glue gun. And I remember I said that the cluster on the front was missing a button. And it was really kind of shabby. So what I did was, this is it over here. It was missing a button, and the decorative things were coming out, and the ribbon looked like my cat was chewing on it. Maybe she was. So I carefully pulled that off, and I cut out clusters from, you know, because I got a lot of this material. I cut out a couple of clusters that didn't look quite as shabby. It is shabby chic though, but you know, it was missing a button and the ribbon was all chewed up. Anyway, and I glued one there, and then I decided to glue one onto the spine, and then everybody was still sleeping. So I got out this trim, this Rosebud Trim, and I just hand stitched that on with some of this gold thread that I got at the flea market, and these roses I got at the flea market. Everything's from the flea market so far except for this batting, which I did get on sale at a really good price. So this is the cover so far, and this material is going to bend back over here like that. So it's a little bit straighter on the back. So I can deal with that. I got threads everywhere. I'm going to leave the thread hanging, just not so long over there. Okay, so can I get this all under the camera? Let me see. So this is the spine. This is the front. This will get folded over. This will hang down. I might put a little short tassel at the top of the spine, and I'm thinking about doing a hidden spine. There's the back with the cluster hanging down. So my next project, I know here's how this looks over here. I put that extra piece of material to go across the bottom because this part's not getting folded up, but this part will get folded down like that. So I think before I put that on to the cardboard, you can see all the stitching I did here. This is quite the project. I want to put the dragonfly on. And you can see why I chose those rosebuds and the gold thread to match the dragonfly. Okay, so this is the spine, and this is the front, and this is the edge. And I think I'm just going to put it something like that. Okay, now it does have a loop there. Do I want to sew it? Do I want to put some hot glue on there? Do I want to do both? I'm thinking I'm going to first sew that loop on where I want this to be. Then I'm going to put a bit of hot glue on there, and then I might put some threads across the body. Like that. So let me get some more of this Flea Market gold thread. I gotta check everything twice. And I didn't check the back twice or 3 times. I did check it twice. I didn't check it 3 times. And I wound up ripping it out, and that was quite the project. I mean, if it was a little crooked, I would have left it, but it was so crooked that this thing here wouldn't fold over the top, so we had to do something about that. Okay, so am I going the wrong way? Yes, I am. Okay. This is my first real Shabby Chic. Well, I did those little Vera Bradley ones. I thought maybe one of them looked pretty Shabby Chic, but nothing like this. Okay, let's see. Kind of want it to touch there. Higher up. This is the top there. Lower down. Higher up. I think it's fine where it was. I know, I might have to put a rose. I did take out these, but I didn't know if I wanted to add green. But if I had a pink or white one, I'd put it somewhere. But maybe that's too much. And I might just leave it the way it is. And I did find these, which is a nice ivory color. But I went with the pink because it really matches that dragonfly. Okay, gonna put it right there. Move some stuff out of the way. I got the glue gun heating up. I had a little bit of gold thread left on the needle, so hopefully this is enough. just start it off. Okay, I've got my glue gun warming up. I got a little bit of gold thread left on the needle. So I'm just going to stitch the front part if I can. This might be hard. I thought I'd be able to get the needle through. Okay, there we go. This might be impossible to do. But we'll try it. The thread is somehow wrapped around his legs. Oop, back around. Okay, you probably don't need to watch me struggle with this, although it might be good entertainment. I can take anything that's easy to do and make it look difficult. Where's this one going? Here we go. Okay, we want it right there. It's not like you can pin it. Not easy. Oh, we got the thread around there again. What's it around? It's around his wing. Okay, I'm going to tie that off and check on my glue gun. Okay, I am going to somehow do this. Oops, pressing the wrong button. Okay, let me hold that down for a second. When that cools off, I'm going to put some gold thread around his body. Okay, I put gold stitches around the neck and there and there and there and there. Now I'm on the last little bit, the tip of the tail. And all I did was go around a couple times. And I think if I have the body anchored down pretty well, I probably don't need to do the wings. So I hope it's pretty heavy. This cloisonne is not light. I didn't want it flopping around and coming off. So that should be okay. See my beautiful sewing on the back. So next, I think I am ready to, can't make a knot here, glue this to the cover. Trying to make a knot. Here we go. All right. Put that aside. Flip this around. There you can see the whole thing. Maybe I should take a picture of it before I put it on the cover. Oh, and before I forget, the thread that I used to sew this with, it's hard to see the stitches right there, is this vintage thread I got at the flea market. You can tell it's vintage. It's on a wooden spool and it says 29 cents. I think I'm going to hot glue this right in the center here, and then maybe glue the rest with some Fabri-Tac, because this is heavy. So I'm trying to anchor it in the right spot. And put some hot glue down here. Can't feel where it is. Oops, I'll get the lace in there. Yeah, right there. I think I got it. Okay, and maybe I'll hot glue underneath the dragonfly. Oops, I need a stick. Right there. So it is anchored at these 2 points. Now I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac and go around and glue the rest, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have the edges glued down. I did use the Dollar Tree beacon, which is sort of like Fabri-Tac, but then I used a lot of the glue gun to get these corners down, get everything held in place. I've never done that before. Used a lot of glue gun on a journal cover, but this is so frou-frou. I decided to do that. So here's the back and the spine. And like I said, I may make a little tassel up here, some kind of beaded dangle, I think, up here. And here's the front. And you know this one little spot is bothering me, and I remembered those earrings that I got for free at the flea market last Sunday, and I want something that's not going to take away from the dragonfly or the roses, but I think this will be perfect right there in that corner. Look at that. It's like it was made for there. And then I think that will be all the elements on the front. I was bending this a little bit because it was curved. It's on a curve. These are clip-on earrings I got at the flea market last week. Making it flatter so I can get a good dab of hot glue in there. Let me stand up. And now I have to go watch a bunch of videos on how to make a hidden spine. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. Like I said, I'm not used to using the glue gun so much. And I got a lot of glue on there. Can I get some off before it cools? I think it'll be fine. It is supposed to be shabby after all. Not too bad. Got a lump of glue right there in the middle. But that should dry white, right? Will that dry white? I think it will. And then you'll hardly notice it at all. Anyway, so here's my cover. And now I need to figure out how I'm going to do the inside. I'll put the hidden spine and then a panel of some kind of material here and there. But I think I'll have to work on the paper and the signatures and then get it all put in here. So this may take a while. Well, here she is, Ms. Flea Market Shabby Chic. I just want to thank Susan and Sheree and Maria for this open collab, which, you know, I am like flea market every week. At this time of the year anyway. And I have so many things from the flea market, and this is a great challenge for me to use this stuff up and make my shabby chic. Thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.